Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Chakwatash, the bonus to the elder apostles, great millstone, salutation, and much love to you all come out there pushing out this word, truth, and sincerity. And I just wanted to do a quick video on this, this article that came across. It's called Trump. It's on CNN.com. I seen something on the news, so I went to their website and checked it out. And pretty much Trump Trump announces hard-hitting new sanctions against Iran. All right, so this is because of the down drone, or the drone that Iran shot down, which they claim it was in defense. But nonetheless, this is just leading towards the World War 3. All right, and if you've been keeping up with the news, you've seen that Trump had a renege on that strike, that strike attack, whatever, that they were about to do on Iran, which that would have led to who knows what that would have led to, because you got to remember who's back in Iran. All right. But nonetheless, Iran, like the scriptures say, which we're going to get, says, let's go to Joel, chapter 3. Oops. All right, let me just start in Joel 3 verse 9. It says, proclaim ye among the Gentiles, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. And that's what's being prepared right now in the Middle East. All right, with all these tensions rising. All right, the troops, and Trump is sending more troops out there. All right. And ultimately, everyone's going to send troops out there, which they already have troops out there. France, the UK, even Russia, they all have troops out there in the Middle East, specifically around Iran, Saudi Arabia. All right, because this is where. Well, let me keep reading. Verse 10: beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. And that's what the point I wanted to get at earlier. All right, because Iran now, that's why they're saying they're strong, man. Let the weak say I'm strong. Because before, all right, 20, 30 years ago, Iran, would have got obliterated. Okay, but now, since the prophecies are being fulfilled, now the weak are saying they're strong. That's why Donald J. Trump, the president of the United States of America, had a renege on an attack, all right, a strike, an airstrike, whatever. And the planes were already out. They were the jets, whatever. Had already been dispatched. All right, but what? Since he knew that it was gonna, the outcome of it wasn't gonna be favorable to him. All right, then he had a renege on it, called him back. All right, and now he slapped some sanctions on him, which ultimately is just leading down that road to nuclear destruction of America. All right, because that's ultimately what's going to happen. America's going to be destroyed by nuclear thermonuclear fire. All right, ICBMs. All right, verse 11, it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened, and come up to the valley of Yahweh Shaphat. For there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. And that's what the Lord is going to do, man. He's going to judge in the valley of decision out there, man. The Yahweh Shaphat, the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, meaning Yahweh's judgment. Okay? So that's what's taking place right now. Everything's leading towards that road, all right, of nuclear, a third world war, okay, nuclear destruction. But the spirit hopped on the spirit of the Lord was on Trump to renege on that, because a lot of prophecies still got, not a lot, but there's still prophecies got to be fulfilled, such as the RFID chip. Okay, what the hell is this? All right, and others, other prophecies, you know. But here's another article I came across as well. Oh, actually, let me so like I'm all over the place, but just doing a news update. Let's go to Isaiah 9. All right, this is Isaiah 9 and 5. For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. All right, because these are how the previous wars were fought. You know, the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, World War I, World War II. Those were with conventional warfare, so to say. All right, hand-to-hand combat. You know, in World War II, they started using planes and whatnot. But for the most part, it was boots on the ground. And even though the Valley of Yahweh Shaphat is going to have a lot of boots on the ground, because a lot of these mighty men, the militaries, they're going to die out there. All right, World War III is going to be a meat grinder for them. But the now they have missiles, you know, that can they don't need to even put them on planes no more. They can just shoot them off of silos, submarines. All right, put them in a suitcase, a nuke. All right, so let's see, it says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. So this World War III, okay, it's going to be the last war, all right? And it's going to be fought with fuels of fire, man, with burning and fuel of fire. Those ICBM, all right, nuclear missiles. So let's go to this article now. This is on RT. It says Trump. This is what Trump said. He said, if it was up to John Bolton, we'd be fighting the whole world at once. Well, you know what? You are going to be fighting. You know, that's a correct statement. Because this Mr. John Bolton over here, it looks like a straight Edomite devil, you know, with his counselship, so to say, to Donald Trump. His advice is leading them down a dark and lonely road. All right. So I'm not going to go into the whole I'm not going to go into this whole article, even though it's not that long, but let's just read a little bit. It says Donald Trump has confirmed that his top foreign policy advisor wants to embroil the U.S. in multiple international conflicts, but the U.S. president insists he retains final say on whether American missiles are to fly into Iran. And with, you know, the multiple international conflicts, all right, and that's true, even against his own allies. Not only is America going to be fighting Iran, all right, Iraq, Afghanistan, what else? Russia, all right, North Korea, China, Turkey. He's going to be fighting his own allies, all right, the EU, the NATO, the Britain, France, all right, Germany, Saudi Arabia. All these countries that are allies with America are ultimately going to be fighting against her. And I say her because America is considered that great whore, all right, which we will prove in Revelation 17. Let's see here. This is Revelation 17, and I'll start at 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. And that great whore is code word for America, all right? America is that great whore that sitteth upon many waters. In verse 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So the kings of the earth, meaning these other nations, have committed fornication with America, right? All the inhabitants have been made drunk off of her wine, man. And that wine of fornication is all the philosophies, all right, the dogma, all right, the democracy, all right, religion, all that America pushes out. Do what thou wilt spirit, you know. Everybody just go mad and, you know, be the biggest demon you can be. You know, that's what America pushes out. And that's what all these nations have drunk of, man. And that's why everybody wants America the hell out of their country, man, because they bring nothing but death and destruction and confusion. All right, because what happens when you're drunk, man? You stumbling. You don't know what's going. You know, you don't know what's going on. You're just in a confused state. Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and that's referring to that beast, that beast, the EU and NATO. All right, and that woman, America, is the one that sitteth upon her, man. All right, and the verse 4, and the woman was arrayed in the purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations, filthiness of her fornication. And that's the cup the other nations have drunk from. All right, and it's described her as wearing that royal apparel, because America is the top place. Everybody wants to come. This is the kingdom of kingdoms, so to say. You know, this is where everybody wants to come to make it. But it's going to be destroyed. Verse 5, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon. So like mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. So how do we know that that whore is Babylon the Great? Because it just told you right here that it's on her forehead, man. That whore. And Babylon the Great we know to be America, man. Right? That's why it's a mystery. But guess what? The mysteries were revealed unto the prophets, according to Amos 3 and 7. All right? So now that we got that out of the way, I'm going to jump down to, all right, referring back to this article here on RT, that John Bolton would be fighting, if it was up to him, they'd be fighting the whole world at once. Well, you know what? It ain't up to John Bolton. It's up to Yahweh Shem outside. And that's what he has prescribed for America. All right, Revelation 17 and 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. Actually, let me start at 15. And he saith unto me, the waters which thou sawest, referring to the waters in verse 1, where it said the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. It said, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples and multitudes and nations and tongues. All right, so that's what the waters is talking about. All right, because America is over all the nations, man. Yeah, you could say this and that, but that's the reality of things, man. America is the bully on the block, okay? Verse 16, and the 10 horns, which would be the EU, all right? Originally, the EU started with 10 nations, all right? And the 10 horns, which thou sawest upon the beast being NATO, all right? Because the beast, the conglomerate of the beast is EU, the EU and NATO, and America is part of NATO, okay? These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. So ultimately, even her, like I was referring to, even her allies is going to shoot missiles on America, man, right along with her enemies. Because thanks to DJ Trump and his cabinet members, they're making they're making enemies everywhere. They're making enemies out of allies, man. So the scripture's not saying this for no reason. It's saying it because it's going to be fulfilled soon, man. After the mark of the beast comes, all right, the martial law, the famine, all this that's going to come, man. It's gonna when this chip comes out, it's gonna come quick, man. And World War is it's already there. You know, you can't say that it's not gonna happen. I mean, take a smell the fresh air. You know, go outside and smell the fresh air, man. All right. Now let's prove that they're gonna burn her with fire and eat her flesh, meaning they're gonna shoot nuclear missiles upon this place, like the Lord said. All right, because ultimately it's the Lord controlling everything. It's Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, Yahweh will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So the Lord's coming with that fire, which is going to be those nuclear missiles, ICBM, thermonuclear missiles, intercontinental ballistic missiles. All right, nuclear destruction, and with his chariots, meaning he coming with what this world ignorantly calls UFOs, right, which are the chariots of the Lord, or the clouds. Okay. They're referred to as clouds throughout the scriptures. It's like verse 16. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of Yahweh shall be many. All right, so the Lord is coming to destroy. All right, he's not coming to give kisses and hugs, especially to America. All of America, coast to coast, will be burned up. Right, burned up. Every square mile of it, every square inch of it, it's going to be destroyed via thermonuclear missiles. All right, and now let's jump into the New Testament. The 2 Peter 3 and 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So this is the day of the Lord. All right, the day of the Lord consists of the elements melting with fervent heat. What's going to cause the elements to melt with fervent heat? Those nuclear missiles, man. I believe if you Google it, It says they burn like 20 million degrees, man. That's intense heat, man. And Zechariah 14 explains how you're gonna be melted away. All right, how America. Matter of fact, let's get it. Let's get it. This is Zechariah 14. All right, Zechariah 14 and 12. And this shall be the plague wherewith Yahweh will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. And that's all the people that fought against Jerusalem is going to be the ones rounded up in the valley of Yahweh Shaphat, man. And all the ones that fought against Jerusalem, which is a people here in America, man. Look at the atrocities that have been committed onto the people of the Lord, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites here in America, man. All that has to be paid for. All right. It says their flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet. So while you stand upon your feet, meaning you're still alive. So while you're still alive, this nuclear wind, this nuclear destruction is going to come start melting you. All right. And their eyes shall consume away in their holes. Your eyes are going to melt away while you're still alive. You watch that movie Terminator Judgment Day, man. Matter of fact, Lord's will, I'm going to watch it today. Get a nice visual of you Americans being burned to a crisp, getting beaten to powder, man. All you're gonna smell is smoke and dust and what is it? Smoke and flesh being burned up, man. Smoke and dust. That's all you're gonna see. And smell the burntness. The people, you ever burn your eyebrows on accident, man? Or burn some hair? That shit's it's a horrible stench. And that's what America is gonna consist of, man. All right, it says, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth. So, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, you're gonna be burned up. Everything about you is gonna be burned up. All the works you did, all of America's works, or all the skyscrapers, everything. Even the animals gotta go, man, because this place is so damn defiled. All right. So let's go back to the book of Revelation, because Apostle Tahar been saying it through the Spirit a lot, that through the elect is sealed, man. Most likely, the if not all of the elect, the majority of them is already sealed, man. Now we're just waiting on the prophecies to come to fulfill. Or there might be a couple, 2 or 4 brothers that haven't been sealed yet. But nonetheless, we're close. We're at that time. That's why the Lord has had it that Trump didn't do that airstrike or whatever they were going to do. They didn't attack because it's not that time yet. All right, Revelation 7:1. And after these things, I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree. That's talking about that nuclear destruction, okay? Because America is going to be ultimately destroyed 100% completely, but other countries are going to get nukes too, because America is going to shoot his nukes off, just like everybody else is going to shoot all their nukes. All right, so America's going to get their nukes off as well, and they're going to hit. They're going to hit their targets wherever they may be. In Israel, that land's going to be destroyed. Parts of Russia, China, Iran. There's a lot of places that are going to get destroyed, but America. All of America is going to be destroyed. All right. It says, verse 2, and I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living power, and he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels, to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea. All right, so the Lord put 4 angels in charge of this. In verse 3 it says, saying, hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads. So that's what we waiting on, man, and the prophecies. All right. Because a lot of people are going to come in when they start seeing these certain prophecies that we've been talking about, man. The healing, all right, the mark of the beast, all right, the famine of the word, all right, and so on, all right. But the elect is sealed, man. They've been sealed since day one, really. But we still have to wait according to these prophecies, man, according to the word of the Lord, all right. Because there might be a brother. He might have heard of this word, but he not really fully convinced yet. He might have heard it a year ago, and it's just sitting in the back of his mind, but he ain't really, paying no attention to it at this moment, because maybe where he's living, it ain't really popping off like that. He not really paying attention to what's going on, so he has to be fully persuaded. All right, but let's prove what that wind is. It's Jeremiah 51:1. Thus saith Yahweh, Behold, I will raise up against Babylon. So like, and I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind. That wind that they're holding back, those four angels, is a destroying wind. All right, this nuclear destruction. It says, and will send unto Babylon, which is America, fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So again, all these countries, like Mr. John Bolton said, he wants to fight the whole world at once. Well, verse 2 just told you they're gonna be round against her round about, everybody, man. And those fanners is gonna be those nukes, man. Because what happens when you fan a fire? You make the fire bigger, man, and it's gonna empty the land, man. Ain't gonna be nothing left. It's gonna be a desert after these nukes burn her up, man. Ain't be nothing left in this place, man. Not even water. All right, verse 3. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. And this is referring to those nuclear missiles, man. And the silos or whatever means of transportation they have for those nukes, man. All right. And against him that lifted himself up in his brigadine, which is a defense or a guard, armor. And spare ye not her young men, destroy ye utterly all her hosts. So America is going to be completely destroyed, right? And that's prophecy. So with that, Shalom.